What's up, Dan fam? So this video is probably gonna be a little half-baked just because God kind of downloaded this idea into me a couple days ago. Well, it's more like he reminded me that this was a big part of my story, and I think this is gonna help a lot of people. So today we're gonna talk about self-improvement and the gospel. So when I was 12 or 13, I was, how do I put this? I was ugly! Like, I'm talking, I was short, skinny, and I had a big gap tooth here. It looked like I was a rabbit that just held a carrot there for way too long. I wish I could show you a photo from that time, but pretty sure I deleted all of them just because I was too embarrassed. I would win every single glow up challenge between me and my friends. It wasn't great. Now, I'm sure my mom would disagree. I was always pretty to her, but I definitely did not feel pretty. And also, when I was 12 and 13, I faced a really painful rejection like everyone kind of does. I'm sure everyone has some sort of middle school ouchie in their heart, but I faced a really painful one, and basically when I did, I blamed it on the fact that I was ugly. And we do that with our pain all the time, where when we experience hurt, we really want to find a place to blame it because that helps us feel in control, when a lot of the times it actually doesn't really have a lot to do with us. But I decided that it was because I was skinny and ugly. And even in my head back then, I knew conceptually that God loved me, God accepted me, and that man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. But me knowing that didn't help me avoid the pain that I was feeling in my heart. And I didn't have a deep connection with God to take his words more seriously than everyone else's. So in order to not feel that kind of pain again, I decided, okay, I need to fix myself. So that's when I found a lot of self-improvement men's YouTube channels like Alpha M, Jose Zuniga teaching men's fashion, Alex Costa, Blue Man, The Gentleman's Code, Real Men, Real Fashion. If you're into that kind of YouTube subgenre, you definitely know those guys. And I have nothing against them. They taught me how to start dressing better, how to wash my face, how to, get girls, which if you have to watch those kind of videos to get girls, it's probably not gonna work. I don't mean to destroy their whole business model, but then just after a while, puberty hit, I started to just naturally grow in confidence. But then I remember there was this one day I was talking to some of my friends, and one of my girlfriends was talking about, oh my gosh, this guy's Instagram, he's so good looking and yada yada yada. And then I was like, man, imagine being one of those guys where girls go to their Instagram just thirst over them. I wonder what that's like. And then my friend, her name is Lauren, hi Lauren, she was like, Daniel, shut up. And the reason why I thought she told me to shut up was so that she would say, oh please, you'll never be like them, you're don't even try. I thought she was about to be really mean to me, and I'm like, oh no. But she was like, Daniel, shut up, you know you are. And I'm like, I did not know. What? And that's not to be oh Daniel, I'm so handsome, but that was just to show that my self-perception hadn't changed. Even if on the outside I had changed, I still felt like that ugly, unlovable boy. And no matter what kind of affirmation I received, you internally are always looking for evidence to prove who you think you really are. So if you think you're awesome, you're gonna look for evidence that you're awesome, and if you think you suck, you're gonna look for evidence that you suck. And so I remembered all the evidence as to why I'm ugly, why I'm unlovable, because I just didn't think that much of myself. And bringing it back to the gospel, the beauty of the gospel is that if you put your faith in God, you don't have to perform to be loved or chosen. But at the same time, we are living on earth with people that we want to be loved and accepted by. But if you truly, truly receive God's love, it's going to get you off that paradigm of performance and self-hatred. I'm sure a lot of people watching are thinking, I'm very secure in myself, I don't have any obvious self-esteem issues, but really it's because they're performing at a level that they've deemed acceptable within themselves. But what happens when you lose your job? What happens if your hairline starts receding? What if you can't work out for 2 weeks because you get sick? That's when you could really see if you're on a paradigm of self-hatred. Do you start to panic? Do you start to worry? Do you start to be like, oh no, if I don't perform to this level, these people aren't gonna accept me. I'm gonna lose status in this place. Is love going to be removed? And the truth is, there is nothing you can do to make God remove his love from you. And as Christians, you need to be able to confront the places where you're still measuring your worth by your performance. And you need to let what God says about you be the foundation foundation for everything. You need to have a connection with God. Oh, it just got really sunny. You need to have a connection with God where his word is the most important thing to you. Because at the end of the day, the words of a stranger mean a lot less than the words of someone who you know really well and who knows you really well. But on the other hand, it's not like me learning how to dress better and do my hair was wrong. Actually, quite the opposite. Beauty is a part of God's nature that I think he actually wants us to pursue. It's natural and normal and healthy to want to feel aesthetically nice. God is beautiful, heaven is beautiful. Why wouldn't we want to be that, you know? There's been this idea pushed by mostly awkward homeschooled Christians, and no offense to any of them, but I actually love the idea of homeschooling, but there's been this idea pushed that as Christians, we shouldn't care what anyone else thinks. Like, because they've felt rejection and pain from other people, they just kind of tell themselves, well, they rejected Jesus first, so, I shouldn't be surprised. But when in reality, they just haven't learned the proper social skills in order to relate to people properly. And this is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but if you truly love people as God commanded us to, then you're going to care what they think about you. Like, you're not going to want them to smell your nasty morning breath. And Proverbs talks a lot about caring for your reputation and how you're seen, but the only problem comes when that's what controls you. That's what controls everything you do. Like, I don't want to be rejected by anyone, so I'm just going to care what other people think, and God's word doesn't mean a thing to me. And as Christians, we need to be able to care what God thinks of us, what other people think of us, and what we think of us. Because at the end of the day, if I don't think I'm lovable, then I'm not going to be able to really accept God's love. Because, like, I could gatekeep God's love out of my life if I really wanted to, but I want life and I want it to the full. So I have to consciously heal the places where I don't think I'm lovable in order to receive God's love. God says, love your neighbor as yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're going to be really bad at loving your neighbor because you have nothing to overflow. You have nothing to give out of. If you think you're so horrible and wretched and ugly or fat or skinny or whatever, you're not going to be able to love well. And that's why we kind of have to balance all three: what God thinks, what we think, what people think. And God's word is definitely the most important, obviously, but we have to be able to receive that at the end of the day. Okay, video over. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you got something out of that. Leave me a comment, a like, a sub, hit the bell, bang. I think I'm gonna be doing a video on Love is Blind pretty soon, so it's gonna be so fun. I might get Cynthia to do it with me. That'll be really sick. So subscribe if you want to see that. So I will see y'all later. Goodbye, vlog.